Hey guys, I'm back. I am back from Austin, Texas. I'm back from the Creator House, and look, we're back to high quality. Did you guys see that live with Nikki LaRose last week? It was, oh my goodness, it was so fun and it was so chaotic. I am very happy to be back in my own studio with my own things, and I'm so excited to have you guys here. Today we are talking all about styling your closet. We're talking about easy tips, easy styling tips that's going to take your look from drab to fab, personalized, individualized. And we're going to have a huge focus today on doing that without spending a ton of money, without breaking the bank. And I am so excited to welcome Alyssa Beltempo to the stage.
Hi, thank you so much for having me, Gabi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so honored to have you. I am like a big fan. I'm so excited that you would come here today.
So same, I'm a huge fan also. This is such a big honor for me, and to see your audience and see you and chat with you live and in real time. It's so much fun.
Oh my gosh, I know. We've never done a styling segment or a fashion segment. And I know, oh my gosh, everyone's popping in. Greetings from Scotland. Hey guys, you're in for a treat because I get this question on the channel all the time and I can never answer it because truthfully, that is not my forte. I know next to nothing about fashion.
You always look good.
Very basic though, you know, and I have gotten into that habit of like, I feel like I don't have anything to wear. So I buy more and more and more and more, but it always still feels like I don't have anything to wear. So I don't know how to like mix things up. It's just like a mess, you know?
Okay. Well, I think you always look great, but I fully get the feeling. So I'm excited to chat. I think we all have those moments when we're like, and you just don't have time to put something together that you really love. And so, yes, I totally get that.
I know it's true. And there's like so many tips. I've been binge watching your content and I'm like, man, I never thought about that. Or like, what an amazing thing. Like I just watched a video that you did recently where you were talking about when you get that impulse to shop, like that dopamine impulse, take that impulse and put it into like shopping inside your closet and putting things together differently. And I just thought that was so brilliant.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. That's like the foundation of the channel, is to shop your closet. So it's so cool that you liked that concept.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit, Alyssa. Like, can you tell our viewers a little bit about you and how you started in this industry and even like how you started on YouTube?
Yes. Okay. This is such a fun question. It's kind of a long trajectory, so I'm going to try and keep it short and brief so we can like get to everyone's questions. But I actually started my whole like world in finance and then left the finance world to manage a luxury boutique. And I learned a lot about dressing women and seeking out what good quality garments should look like and feel like and all that stuff. And then after that, I left the boutique to do some freelance wardrobe styling and on commercial sets and things like that. So I would do like government and agency contracts, and there would be like, we'd have a day and I'd have to dress the models. And during that time, I also moved, and of course I had left finance. So my financial position was a lot different. It was a lot smaller, and my closet was a lot smaller because I moved from like a house to a small condo. So over that time, I really learned how to be creative with what I already had in my closet, because I couldn't afford to buy cheap clothes that would fall apart or that I didn't like, right? Like I just couldn't afford it. So I had to be really intentional about what came in and out of my closet. And at the same time, I started learning about, the sort of the fashion industry, the dirty side of the fashion industry, right? Like I was constantly in shopping malls, constantly like dressing people. And I realized there was an inverse relationship between the size of someone's closet and how happy they were with themselves and their personal style. Like the bigger people with huge closets, they didn't, have more or less, more confidence in their personal style or anything like that. So the size of your closet doesn't matter. And that's, and at the same time, I was, as a stylist, doing, TV segments and working with, talking about trends and all that stuff. And then as I started to change my slow fashion messaging, a lot of the TV segments and things like that, they didn't want to talk to me anymore because convincing people to shop less is like not the most popular topic, right? Like advertisers want to push things. So I ended up just starting the YouTube channel and being like, well, look, if no one is going to be talking about slow fashion or sustainable fashion in a way that is engaging and that includes everybody, and like, because everybody can shop their closet, everyone can shop less but with more intention and shop smart. So I just thought, like, not a lot of people are talking about this and they're not doing it in a fun way. Like, it can be so fun to just, like, yes, it's good, I'm not like anti-shopping, but like I think it's so much more rewarding when you do it, when you actually buy something that you really love and you're going to wear for a long time. So this is just so cool. Sorry, seeing everybody. And so that's when I started the channel, and I was like, let's make this fun. I'll use my styling skills to help people use what they already have and find their personal style at the same time. Because I think when you learn to shop your closet and you learn to actually like understand why you've made certain purchase decisions and what's in there, you can get a much better sense of your personal style rather than just trying to like buy and chase your way or buy yourself into personal style. Sorry, that was very long.
No, that's brilliant. And honestly, I think that's the one thing that stood out the most about you when I met you, because so Alyssa and I met at this creator hub. There's this creator hub in downtown Toronto in the Google building where creators come together and we have workshops and we talk and we share ideas. And that's where we met. Yeah. And as soon as I met you, I'm like, oh, I just like had heart eyes for you. And then I started following you and the heart eyes like get bigger.
No, we had a really good connection.
I know, we're Canadian heart eyeing each other. But the really cool thing about you is that I feel like your moral code is so high. Like even when I first approached you, and I said, why don't we do a topic like, these are the styling mistakes you're making after 50. And you're like, I don't like the idea of that. And I'm like, it's going to get a lot of views. And you're like, I don't like the idea of that because that's not how style is. It's not right and wrong, black and white. And I sat with that and I'm like, you know what? Like that spoke volumes about you as a creator, you as a person. And I just have so much respect for that. I just think that is so cool.
Thanks, Gabby. That's like, it's really amazing to hear that, especially from another creator who I respect and admire so much. So thank you. Thank you so much. It like really means a lot.
I think you're just really cool.
Likewise. I love your tips. Oh, completely. So, and especially, okay, I just have to say the one where you like tested whether it was like fingers or sponges or all that. This is wild to me. I love that. Hitting it. That one I watched. It was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. Anyway, sorry.
I like that one. Viscosity. It's all about viscosity.
Yes, it was like science. You were like a wizard. I was like, she is a wizard. Oh, anyway.
Well, let's start with the Q&A. You guys, we had so many Q&As in our community board. So what we'll do, I always like, you guys know me, I like to respect my community board Q&As because you take the time, you leave them there. So I know I prioritize the chat and the live viewers are so important, but let's do a community board Q&A first. Okay. So let's start with this one. This is a really great question. I think a lot of you guys can relate to it. It's dressing for your age. Okay, I want to see how you're going to answer this. So classy, but not frumpy. How to incorporate trendy items without making yourself look ridiculous.
Right. So I think this is such a good question because we all struggle with this as we change and as we age and everything. I think this is so important. It's so important to know your personal style first, and then you can tailor it to whatever trends are happening. So I think it's always good to sort of reframe the question and be like, okay, wait a minute. Like, what do I like right now? What do I like to wear? What have I historically looked and felt good in, right? Like say you're retiring or you're changing careers I often find if I look back at photos of myself or, if I look into my closet, I would say, open up your closet and pull out your go-tos, the items that you feel really good in, that you feel solid in all the time, and look at what are the recurring themes. Is it the colors? Is it the silhouettes? Is it a texture? Is it how you style them? And then what I would do is then you can go out and have a look at the trends and be like, okay, what's happening here? Because maybe there's a trend that's like heavily color based, but you can take that trend and find it in a silhouette that you like. So maybe let's take like a very basic, I'm going to take my mother as an example because she is like a blazer woman through and through. Like she was a teacher, blazers are her thing. So what I would say to her is like, look, if you want to freshen up your look, but stay true to yourself, because ultimately that's style, right? Like that's style. That's how you're going to feel good. It doesn't matter what trends you're following. But if you want to stay true and still feel good, then let's go find you a blazer because that's your silhouette. That's what you feel good in. Let's go find it in a color maybe that's current. So that way you're injecting some sort of fresh or current element, but you're still you're going to wear that blazer hopefully past this trend because it's a blazer, because it's got the structure, because it makes you feel good, and because you know how to style it already. So I hope that that's what I would do is like figure out what elements of style you really like. So that takes a little bit of like research in your own closet and soul searching and whatever. And then look at the trends from this perspective as well, from elements. Don't like look at a bag and be like, well, this is the it bag, so I have to buy it. Because you're going to buy the it bag and you're not going to be happy. Because you know what I mean? Or you might for like 10 minutes and wear it and then you'll get bored because it wasn't your thing. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense.
Okay.
I know. I find like even for me, you know, I actually have like a pretty edgy style, but I'm also like very conservative at the same time. And it's this weird, if something's too edgy, I feel uncomfortable. But if it's too conservative, I don't feel like myself. Totally. So I'll try to pair like a blouse with like really textured, ripped jeans because that gives the edge. So I think sometimes people are so scared to like unconventionally put things together, but that's, I think, what makes the style unique.
Totally. You're at like Gabi. So I told you, like you have great style. You nailed it. Like you like it's almost like a cocktail. It's like you adjust the ratios based on, you know, like you like your mix of edge with classic and timeless, and you just adjust, and it's a lot of trial and error, but you do it. I remember when you had the cutest, you were wearing like a really cute, like almost like a baby teen. You had your big hoops, and I think you were wearing flared jeans when we met. It was like, you looked so great. I was like, oh,
you did remember. That was exactly what I was wearing. But then you know what else I had? I had a white blazer because I'm like, I need to tone this down. I need to like take this really modern, edgy outfit and I need to like tone it down so that it's not like too crazy, you know?
Yeah, like taper down, like balance out the edge a little bit.
Yeah.
I love that.
So this is a really cute comment from Jackie. Alyssa got your earring collaboration a few years back and I'm still loving them.
Jackie, that is so cool. Thank you. Oh my God. I saw this comment and I have to say, on Lori, this is amazing. You guys are fantastic. Gabi, I have to tell you, I wanted to click on the comments and make some comments, but it's saying I have to connect to my YouTube account to join the chat. And I'm afraid if I click that connect button, it's gonna like, I'm gonna disappear. So I'm really sorry, everyone, if I can't answer the comments, and Gabi, if I can't type the comments. I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh, don't worry. We'll do it after. On the replay. You guys tell everyone. Come back later because there's always like we're commenting and responding to things.
Right.
And cool. Yeah. So here's another question that popped up. So the best tricks on what to look for on special occasion shoes. Looking for something comfortable without losing style. I really struggle with this too.
100%. I love this. This is a really, really good question. I think, again, it's about finding, with shoes, it's about finding a texture, I think, that's interesting. So you can go special occasion, like anything with a lot of shine, like a patent is really cool. It like instantly adds a bit of interest. And then you can keep the heel low. You can do like a super shiny patent little ballerina flat. So in terms of texture, you could do shine, you could do metallic, you could do like little, of course, little like diamante or brillante or whatever you want, you know, something that way. So get that element of special occasion through the texture. Because I'm assuming here, like, you want to be comfortable, right? So you're not wanting like a towering heel. If you can go with the heel, more of a solid block is good. And you could even get like even if it's like a 2-inch heel, if you get it in the metallic or some of these sort of interesting textures, a lower or a block heel will come across as more elevated. And the other thing that I think is really gives you that sort of sex appeal that you're looking for in a party shoe is try and get a solid like balance of skin in there. So, you know, if you're looking at a sandal, I know like a lot of us don't get a lot of support from those little BB strappy sandals, like it's like 2 strings and you're like, where is my foot even going? This is not working. But yeah, even if you're looking at a flat or a sensible pump, if you're getting that combination of texture, as I already mentioned, but say the vamp is lower on the shoe and we're seeing a little toe cleavage, this is also pretty sexy. And this is going to work with a lot more evening wear because we're seeing more of the foot. So like strappy is, you know, the strappy is good too, but showing a little bit of skin on the foot can have a much bigger impact, I think, than you think.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great tip. And I never thought about that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one that I would love to talk about a little bit too. Ella's asking about capsule wardrobe tips.
Yeah.
She's been building one. So, girl, I don't know anything about the capsule wardrobe. So, oh, we got a super chat. Hold on.
Gosh, thank you.
Aw, Exploring Canada, 2 of my fave Canadian YouTubers. Good vibes. Thank you, ladies. Aw, thank you so much for the super chat. That is so sweet.
That's really, really kind. Thank you.
That is really kind. That really helps, you know, support the channel. And I just want to tell you that, you know, it means a lot to me when you guys do that. Thank you guys. I'm sick, so I'm like very emotional. Like my eyes are tearing. Like, I can't believe you sent me that.
You get more emotional when you're sick too. I also get more emotional.
It's like a vulnerable little thing.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you.
Okay, so capsule wardrobe. So please let me know what are what do you need for this? How do you do this? Tell us all the things.
Great. This is such a great question. I'll start with, I guess, the easiest thing, which is like, I don't think you need anything in particular. I think the easiest way, if you're like a capsule beginner, is to, again, you have to go through your closet, pull out all the pieces that you love to wear and that you're actually wearing, and put them aside. Maybe if you want, you can pull a couple pieces that you're like questioning, like, oh, I love this, but I can't style it. Maybe if you want, throw that in there too, and literally store all of the other pieces that you are not wearing, that you don't like, that don't fit, that aren't the right season, whatever. Like all of those pieces that like tease us when they're in the closet or they're like shoved at the back or they have tags still on and you never wear them. I would store them so that they're out of sight, and then work with those items that you know you love for about a month. And just see that's your capsule. That's like capsule 1.0. Just start there. There's a lot of like stuff on the internet about like you have to have a color palette and you need like a white button down and a pair of jeans and a da-da-da. But like, what if your style isn't a white button down? Like, what if, you know, like you're wearing this beautiful, like cool, I don't know if it's cropped or if you had it tucked in, but like this beautiful little olive blazer, like it's a pair, according to the internet and like traditional capsule wardrobes, that wouldn't belong in there. And it's like, why? So start your very first iteration of your capsule will be just those clothes. And you go through those for, I would say, a month. Give yourself a month just playing with those clothes. Only wear those. And then at the end of the month, you'll have, if you're, you know, if you want to be a keener, you can like try and build your outfits in advance, or you take photos of the outfits that you're wearing, even if they're repeat outfits. take photos, and that's when you'll get a real sense of what the gaps are. It's like, okay, wait a minute. I've worn this, like, I don't know, the floral silk vintage blouse like 5 or 8 times. So it's like, why is that? Do I like florals? Do I like vintage? And then you can add, if you need, you know, if you're looking at this blouse and you're like, gosh, but it would be nice if I could have more ways to wear it. So then it's like, maybe I need more separates. Maybe I need more interesting bottoms. Maybe I need like an interesting skirt with a different silhouette. Could be useful, because then I can restyle these pieces that I love so much a lot more, and you're doing it more efficiently. You're not going out and saying like, oh, I have this one piece I need to buy a specific pair of pants for. Like, no, like now you're getting a better sense of really how to expand your closet. Based on all of the pieces that you've been wearing and loving over time. So I think that's the best way to start with a capsule, and how to know what to add.
Is there, okay, I've heard you speak about this, and then I'm always like ready to take notes, and then I get like enamored by your video, and then I like don't.
You're so cute.
Then I get like sucked in by the B-roll, and I'm like, oh my God, that's beautifully shot.
Oh, thank you. Oh.
But you've talked a few times about apps where you can, Kay, please tell us about apps.
Yes, 100%. So apps can be really good. It totally depends on it depends on how you learn too, right? Like, I'm very tactile. I like using apps, but mostly I like being in my closet. But if you're busy, or if you are like a very visual or an analytical or like data-driven person, apps are amazing. There's 2 that I really like: Open Wardrobe and My Index. We can leave those linked below, or after, but this is great because you can digitize your closet. You have to take a picture of each of your items of clothing. So that's always the like bottleneck, right? Because that takes time. But also I feel like this process is really good because it kind of forces you to spend time in your closet, to look, you know, to look at what you have, to see what you have. So you do that, and then these apps will track how many times you wear something. They can track the outfits. Like, you snap a photo and it'll track how many times you've worn that whole outfit. So you really get a sense of like, okay, what are my top colors? What are my top like pants that I like to wear, or like whatever. So it's a much more efficient way to literally do exactly what I just said in the whole capsule thing.
So do you take pictures of each individual item, and then can you like put them together?
Yes. So on Open Wardrobe and on My Index, you can do like, okay, does anyone remember Polyvore? Do you remember that, Gabby? Did you ever use Polyvore? Like,
no.
Oh my God. It was like for the fashion girlies. It was this like the OG like collage, and you could like build your little like outfits or whatever. So yes, you can do that. So that's the beauty of it too, is you can, if you're like on your way to work and you've got your whole closet, you can sit on your phone and create like 10 outfits by the time you get to the office. You know what I mean? And you've done it in your little app.
That is so cool.
It's honestly, these apps, if that's how you like to, you know, learn, and if you're analytical and all these things, it's fantastic. Really, really good.
And then what it does is it allows you, again, okay, if I'm under stress, it's a really bad thing. I will like instantly want to buy like really over the top glam outfits that I never wear because I'm a mom and I like don't leave my house. Like really obnoxious glam outfits, like over the top, you know?
Yeah.
And it will give me this like rush to get, but so instead, you know, if you're the type of person, not if you don't buy glam outfits, but you just, you know, you're super stressed. You're like, I'll feel better if I get a new sweater. 100%. Instead of getting a new sweater, you can go on your app and be like, how can I style that sweater differently?
Yes, 1,000. You literally nailed it. Like, that's exactly it. And I think you get the same little like dopamine rush when you go home, you try it on and the fit looks great, and then you go out and you wear it and you get a compliment and it's like, yes, amazing.
Yeah, it's so much more sustainable. It's just so much better for the environment, for everything.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, because you're using what you already have.
Yeah. So Brenda asked this in the community board as well. So I really wanted to pop this up. Guys, we have so many active viewers. This is great.
Yay, so
You're
fun.
enjoying this. So I have so many graphic t-shirts. I'm 61. I love that for you. I just have to say I love graphic tees.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how to wear them at my age for a casual, classy look. What do you suggest?
I love this question. So yes, I love that, Brenda, you are loving the graphic tees. I actually just styled a lady not maybe a little bit older than you, and she had a wicked collection of graphic tees and sweaters and had the same question. And what we did with her was, depending on what else you have in your closet, it's always a little bit difficult when I can't see your closet, but I would try styling them perhaps in a more polished way. So maybe you wear them like with belted denim instead of just regular denim, or maybe you try them with like a really cool trouser and a loafer, or a little like Oxford, or even a flat, or even a sneaker if you like. That's kind of neat too. So it's a bit like what Gabi was saying, how like she likes the edge and she had the ripped jeans, but then she balanced it out. So it's kind of just like adjusting the ratio. So if you're wearing the graphic tee, maybe you adjust the ratio of your casual classy items in the outfit a little bit higher. So like I said, you can do that with footwear. I would also suggest adding a structured bag. I find I talk about structure a lot, especially for corporate for people in the corporate world, because there's nothing like structure to add a little bit of polish, especially if you're feeling like, oh, this is feeling too casual, this is feeling a little too sloppy. A little structured bag can really just elevate the graphic tee, and it won't look out of place at all.
Yeah, that's awesome advice. My husband sometimes will wear a graphic tee with a really nice fitted blazer and like right, and like a lighter wash denim. And I think it's like you're mixing the you're teetering like the conservative with the it's a really neat way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. It's just adjusting the ratio. Your husband sounds super stylish. Actually, I've seen pictures of him. He is super stylish.
He's very cute. When I met him, he only ever wore brown, but now he wears everything was brown. He's a little edgier now.
Okay, great. You've injected some of your style, your edge into his style.
And he's like, he made me a little more conservative. I'm like, it's a good balance, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
All right, Daisy, what are the best pieces to shop for a petite body frame? We got this question a lot as well. Yeah. So she wants to look flattering, hide some trouble areas such as the tummy. So maybe we can talk about dressing for like petite body shapes in particular, but we can also talk about like problem areas, like tummy areas or things like that.
Yes. Okay.
Problem areas, just like areas that you want to deflect attention from. Let's call it that instead. That's a better way to call it.
Yeah, I love this, Gabi. You're like on the train. It's so good. So I'm gonna preface this with a couple, or maybe just one thing. So what I love how, Gabi, you said like how we deflect, and there are definitely parts of our body or whatever that we think of like we want to camouflage. But I always start with, if I can just say this, if we can reframe when we get dressed, rather than thinking I have to camouflage this first, if we can reframe, what is it that I want to highlight first? So it doesn't have to be physical. Often it is. Like if we can find a few things that we love about our bodies, physical, whatever, personality-wise, this is where I always like to start. So because I find where you focus your attention is what eventually, that's what shines. And this is a much, I find, more rewarding way to get dressed rather than focusing on the problem areas. So Daisy, it's difficult to answer this question because I don't know the rest of your body and everything, but everything hinges around proportions. And so petite bodies in general, and also, that was the other thing I wanted to say about this was, I also tend to shy away from categorizing our bodies. Like I am I am petite, I'm pear-shaped, I'm apple-shaped, I'm this, or like, because then again, that's all that becomes the focus. Whereas if we start, instead of being like, well, my problem area is X, if instead we start and say, can I swear? Are we allowed to swear on this, Gabi?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Sorry, I was just gonna say, like, what if it's like, fuck, I love my legs, you know, or like, I love my collarbones. Then it's like, okay, then let's start there. Let's start with the collarbones. So we want to wear tops that'll open up the chest, that'll draw the eye to the collarbones. We want to wear like a cool earring that's going to bring the eye there and celebrate this part of you that you love. So I'm just, I know we're not touching on petites yet, and we'll talk about proportions for petite, but that message is really, really important. And it's difficult. I know it's very easy for me to say because I do come from like this straight sized privilege, but I truly believe that, especially if Gabi, if your audience and community is as well as stunning and fantastic and beautiful in every way as mine, then I think everyone has qualities that are beautiful and that deserve to be spotlighted rather than us focusing on covering up our problem areas. So
yeah, I love that you said that. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm getting like so excited. I have like goosebumps because that's exactly how I see makeup.
Yeah.
You know, I used to teach this makeup program in for young girls learning to put on makeup, and they all had so many insecurities because they're teens. And I would say, okay, I want you to look in the mirror in this class, and I want you to tell me one thing that you love about your face. And I want you to look at your neighbor and tell me one thing that you love about your face. Instead of, I want to cover my acne, I want to cover my dark circles, I want to enhance my eyes, I want to show off my lips. Yeah. It's a much better way of enhancing yourself. Yeah. It's not about covering. It's about bringing forward the beautiful things. Yeah. And so when you said that, I'm like getting goosebumps. I'm like,
yes, I love how like this, and how amazing that you did that. How amazing that you did that with such a like good and like such a large group of women and all the makeup artists, all the people who were in that class. So that's amazing. And Daisy, I know we didn't get to so we can talk because Gabi, you wanted to talk about petite stuff in general. Yeah. So yes, and I do hope that helped Daisy and everybody, because it really is. And we have to do this, I have to say, sorry, and Gabi, I'm sure you said this to your classes, was that like this is kind of a daily work thing. Like we don't wake up every morning and be like, I love myself. Like it's daily work, and it's a lot, but it's so worth it, I think. Anyway, so yes, so the petite, I think in general, like I said, I don't like to categorize, but it all comes down to proportions. So when you're petite, if you want to add a little bit more of these length, like if you don't want to truncate your body, using the vertical line is really important. So creating these columns on your body is great. And this is whether you're trying, like, you know, no matter what your body shape is, these vertical lines are key. This can be done with, like, you know, just as simple as wearing a longer jacket open, as wearing a blazer open, because then what we're doing, look, this isn't a great example, but you see how like this waistline could be anywhere, and because it'll also, proportions will also depend on like how long your torso is in comparison to your legs or whatever, and like where you want the eye to fall. But proportions are all about like where what's the story we want the eye to kind of follow. So you see how when I have this open, what we're seeing is not so much my midsection. We're just focusing on these two columns here that are quite, and because the blazer is longer, this is what we're focusing on. We're focusing on these vertical lines and this length here. And the other thing that will help the eye, like draw the eye on these vertical lines, is the fact that this is a pretty solid contrast. So when the eye is it's really distinguishing, like, oh, these are light colors and this is a nice bold dark color. So it's focusing on this, what's happening here, if that makes sense. So using your vertical lines is really important. I also think that showing a little bit of skin in terms of petites is really important, whether it's at your neck, A little bit at the ankle is good too. Not saying that, like, I know there's like this sort of argument that like petites shouldn't wear cropped pants and then they also can't wear super long hems. Like, you can wear whatever you want. The secret is in the waistline. So if you've got a longer, or if you've got either or, if you've got like a super long hem, you can probably leave the waistline dropped a little bit more, because the eye is getting this like, you know, midsection all the way down to the floor. So already you're drawing this nice vertical line. If you're on a cropped pant, if you're petite and you prefer cropped pants, you want to show a little bit of ankle, then maybe raise the waistline a little so that we're not truncating the lower half of your body. So it's really about how these vertical and horizontal lines are playing with each other. And showing a little bit of skin. So like if you're petite and you're wearing like a big sweater and like a baggy jean, not only will it be important to maybe even like as simple as just scrunch the sleeves. See what happens when you show a little bit of arm, or maybe you swap out the sweater for something that has a lower neckline so that we see a little bit of neck, and the eye is like, oh, there's skin disappearing. So like there's more of her is what we're telling the eye, right? And the other piece with proportions that's really important is the playing with the volume. So if you've got like this oversized sweater with also an oversized baggy denim, which also is a look. This isn't like, that's also a great look. Like you can totally do this. There's nothing wrong with this, right? Like that's totally fine. But if you're feeling overwhelmed by the clothes, then it's because you've got like an abundance of volume all over your body and we don't know where to look. Now the eye is like, I'm just seeing one thing. So maybe you swap out the pant for something more tapered, like a little cigarette jean or like a legging or something like that. So it's really about playing with the proportions. Sorry, that was like and that goes honestly, I think for most, not just petites. It's petites, we're talking about the vertical lines and like the waistline and everything is the most important. But in general, the proportions, the volume and the fit is really important. Sorry,
it's the exact same philosophy for hair. Like if you're a very tiny little person and you want to elongate, like it's like a bride, for example, if you do like a really high like updo, like it will kind of lean you out. Like if you have a round face, it will. So you're tricking. So if you have a little body, you're trying to create illusion of length. Just like if you have a shorter face, you can create the illusion of length by adding volume here. You can, do an updo. It's the same type of balancing trick, right? I think maybe that's something you guys could really learn from this live stream is like, think about yourself in terms of like lines and creating the lines where you want them to be.
Yep, exactly. That's exactly it.
Terry, I work in a male majority industry. Oh, yes. Good. I want to dress professional, but I wind up looking like Sandra B in Miss Congeniality in a suit with black man shoes.
Terry, this is a good question. Coming from finance, I mean, now it's a little bit different. This is like 13 years ago, but my very first team, it was like mostly men. So I get this. I mean, it depends on your corporate dress code. I think as women, we have alternative options that aren't suiting. However, if you need to be in a suit, like if that's your corporate culture and you need to be like blazer most days, then I would say if you can, switch up the footwear. Even if you want to do like switch up the footwear to something more feminine. I was wearing these just now. This is like, toes are covered. You've got a really strong point, which again, like the structure is good for that sense of authority, but you've got a little bit of feminine detail. So if you can find via footwear something that gives you a little bit of that more like feminine twist to a suit, that's really helpful as well. I think also if you also color and texture are big. I think you could probably rock a really cool print. You could go, I don't know how wild your style is, Terry, but like you could do a printed suit, a colorful suit. The key that allows you to maintain your authority and keep that professionalism is really, like I said, it's going to be the structure. So maybe you're wearing a crisp collared shirt underneath a floral printed blazer, but the shirt, you know, the buttons up all the way down to the collar, really cool. Like maybe you throw a necklace, like a little choker on under the collar, so that we get a little bit of like glam, a little bit of attitude, something interesting. If you can veer away from suits, then again, it's just really about it's really about keeping that structure in place. So you could go with like a trouser or something a little bit more like a flowy trouser, but then you keep it really crisp and clean on top with a button-up shirt or a blazer. Or if you're not into the structure on top, then keep it crisp and clean on the bottom. It's just try and finding that balance to keep your authority. But color and texture are going to be color, texture, and styling, like with that jewelry. That's going to be your best friend, I think. I hope that helps.
That's really, see, I'm like learning so much. I'm soaking it all up.
So
do you want to tell them about our giveaway?
Yes.
And then we're going to answer more questions. But you guys, you got to stay to the end because there's a amazing giveaway. So you take it home. Tell them what they're going to win.
So good. So Gabi, I was so excited and so pleased to offer a free virtual personal styling session with me. So we do an hour, yay, over Zoom. And I send you a form beforehand so that we can really understand what it is you're looking for. And you can either come to me with a list of questions or pieces that you don't know how to style, and we'll see if we can shop your closet for them. Or it could be an edit if you want, like if you really want to help know, you know, when to take things away or consign or donate or keep, all those things. So yeah, I'm so excited to meet one of you.
I'll tell you guys how to enter that very shortly, but we'll get back to the questions. That's an amazing, there's no giveaway better than that, right?
So good.
That's the best one. What are the best ways? So Colleen, what are the best ways to dress a large chest in a warmer climate where blazers do not work?
Yeah. Is this, Colleen, I don't know if we're able to get a follow-up. Is this at the office? Do you have to wear blazers? Like, do you need to be dressed in a professional manner, or is this like every day? That's my question. So in the meantime, I'm going to assume, because you're asking about blazers, so I'm going to assume it's in a situation where you have to wear blazers, but do let us know if possible. I think the answer here is the fabric choice. So warmer climate, like linens, cottons are going to be your best friend, and anything that has a little bit more airflow. So if you, large chest, I know large chest, a lot of women don't like the button down because it can feel really boxy. There is a fantastic, this is why I like linen, because it's meant to be worn boxy. So it looks really natural and it looks really great. And you have a little bit of, if it's a well-made linen button-up, then you've got a little bit of like sort of room in the chest. It's a little bit comfortable. There's a really good company which we can leave. They're called Power of My People, and their button-ups, I swear by them. They're more of an investment, but their sizing is bananas. It fits every body type. And they're beautiful. So linen will be your best friend. And this could also be, you know, if you're thinking of blazer because you want that third piece or that sort of extra layer, you could also go with just, I would say, maybe even like a cotton. I don't love cardigans in the workplace. That's just a personal thing, but you could do just like a lighter cotton cardigan as well if you want that third piece. But it's really going to be about the fabric choice here. That's what I would do. And then the other thing, also like if you can, a dress, like a little shirt dress in linen is also really good. And I think a lot of women with larger chests, we tend to shy away from a lower neckline, but Oh, it itches. Oh, okay. Linen itches. You can't stand them. Okay. And you love layers. So cotton then. I think if linen isn't comfortable for you, cotton, you can also try Tencel, which is a really nice cellulose-based fabric. It's breathable. So that's a really good one. And then I would do the same thing. You could do a blazer. The beauty about Tencel is that it's more drapey and flowy. So you could do a Tencel blazer instead. You're getting that same layering effect as a blazer, but it's light, it's airy. Not only is the Tencel fabric going to be like, it's a little bit like silk almost. It feels a bit like silk. Silk's another good one. But you've got that kind of off the body flowing feeling a little bit. Does that help? Hopefully it helps a little.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I don't think I own anything that's Tencel.
Oh, okay. It's a good fabric. It's a good fiber. It's like a closed loop system as well. So it's, as long as we're not producing bajillions of like so much of it, it's a pretty solid fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tracy, good afternoon. Problem area: broad shoulders, larger chest, short legs. Help.
This is so hard.
Tracy, what's something that you like about yourself?
Yes, thank you. Great question. I love this, Tracy. What do you love? What do you want to show off? There's got to be the balance.
Yeah, what's your star feature? We know you have it.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't, I know, Gabi, I'm sure you say this too, is like, it doesn't have to be physical either. Like I've had some women too, like they're like, oh, like I just bought this. I had this example this morning. Like I just bought these heirloom earrings or not bought, but these were handed down to me and I want to show them off. So it's like, what is it that you want to show off? Really good question.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, and sorry, Day is making a comment about our last wrap dresses for a larger chest is really good. Yes, thank you. The broad shoulder, short legs. I mean, look, a high waist is always really good, I feel, because high waist is they're comfortable and they provide a really nice focal point. So in that case, it's like we're just changing up the focal point. I think, yeah. So I think a good high waist, anything, whether it's a skirt or a dress. I also think dresses in general, if you can get a really solid like shift or sheath dress that is beautifully like cut, wrap dresses are also fantastic, I think, on most body types. So those are kind of,
yeah, don't you find with larger chests that if you deepen the neckline a little bit, it elongates?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you go up too high, it can it's like too much volume or something.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes you look top heavy because you're kind of, you're really like highlighting this piece, which is like, again, and it's totally up to you, but yeah, I like it. It softens the neck a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right.
Okay. Can we talk about when tailoring is worth it? This is a great question.
This is such a good question. You have to, it's like trial and error. You have to go check with your tailor because it's going to be a financial thing too. But like if you're in the thrift store, for example, and you're like, oof, is this going to be worth it? I honestly think, so blazers are tough to tailor. Blazers are like, if you're looking at a blazer or a coat or anything that has a lot of construction elements to it, like maybe there's already a lot of darts, there's shoulder pads, darts are those things in the back. This one doesn't have. Does this blazer have? I don't know. Darts are these kind of lines in the back. Like the more construction details on the garment, the more expensive and difficult it's going to be to tailor. So if, for example, you're at the thrift store, I think that's when it becomes up to you and whether you think you are going to wear this piece once it gets tailored. And like sometimes it's a miss, right? Like I've done that. I've bought a thrifted piece and I'm not personally, I think it's always worth it to tailor a garment if it means you're going to wear it more. I have no issue spending $50 tailoring a like $10 thrifted top. Like I don't, because chances are we would have spent $75 on a brand new mid-tier, you know, maybe not so great top when we're in a rush. So I don't discriminate when it comes to price at all with clothing. So that's one thing. I think it's usually almost always worth it to tailor, but it's really about looking at the construction of the garment. Also, if there's no seam allowance, so seam allowance is like on the inside of a garment. I usually always check the hem, or like this is black, so you can't really tell. But seam allowance is just when you flip the garment inside out. If there's like the piece of fabric that's folded over and stitched here, you probably need like 1.5 to 2 inches in order for a tailor to actually like work with that hemline. So that's another little piece. And unfortunately, like post the year 2000, a lot of clothing isn't made with a lot of seam allowance anymore. Whereas like, that's why I love secondhand and the beauty of vintage, because a lot of these clothes were made to be altered so that they lasted longer. So
do you thrift a lot? See, I hardly ever thrift, and I feel like it needs to be my new thing. So
yes.
Tell me thrifting. Like,
I feel like you would be good at it. Sorry, I interrupted. So sorry.
I think it'd be really fun. Is it something that, are you really passionate about it?
Yes, I love secondhand shopping. I think it's so good. I think it's an excellent way to find quality without breaking the bank. The thing with thrifting, however, is that you have to be patient and you have to go often. So, right, and time is a commodity. A lot of us don't have time. So I don't think it's like as easy as being like, oh, if you want to be more sustainable, or if you want to like whatever, you just shop secondhand. Because I fully appreciate that it's not easy. And that it takes time. So not only does it take, like, you have to go often to the thrift store, to your local thrift store. So a couple of tips, I guess, is go often. Go with a list in mind. Otherwise, you're going to walk in and be like, what? You need a list. So have an option in mind. Often they're really good at like curating and organizing. So if you need trousers, you can go straight to the trouser section. Or if you're looking for a certain color, sometimes they're even organized by color now, which is really good. Go often. This is like in my city, wherever you live, try to go to the thrift stores that are located in the most affluent parts of your city. So because that's where all the good drop-offs go. Right? Yeah. So that's always something that I like to do, is go there, go often, have a list, and you have to try things on. And don't I think ignore sizing, because when you're thrifting, things are coming at us from the 90s when they were using completely different fit models. Vintage pieces fit completely different. So don't go to the large or the medium section and be like, well, this is what I'm relegated to. Like, I usually look one size up and down from where I am. And I also always check the men's section because they've got really good stuff. And it's often priced cheaper.
Oh, that's a great tip.
I know.
There used to be a really cool thrift shop here called Sweet Trash. Ooh. And it was like 1940s, 1950s. And the clothes were, they should have been in a museum. But everything was teeny tiny, like the waist. Ooh. 25, 24. And I'm a pretty like naturally thin person. I couldn't fit into any of it. I bought one dress there, and they were very expensive, but it was really cool to go.
It's cool. Yeah. Like proper vintage is, the sizing is so you have to go in and know that like their sizing was ridiculous back then. So
yeah, because they were smaller people. Like they were like just smaller.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But I love the tip of like looking for affluent zones of your city and going to those shops, because it's true. You can get some great steals.
Yes, absolutely. And I love a Goodwill. I love the Salvation Army. I love them all. I go everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. I have a question from the community board that I would love to hear your answer on as well. So this viewer was asking, do you organize your closet based on sections or colors? How do you organize your closet? What do you think is the best way?
Great question. I organize it by both section and color. So I have what's hanging or what should hang is hanging. So things like blazers, blouses. I don't hang knitwear, I fold it, but I have the sections. I do, so I do blouses and button-ups are together. I'll do blazers are together, and then I have trousers, skirts, bottoms, and then I don't have a lot of dresses. I'm not a big dress person. Then I have a couple of dresses. Knitwear is in its own section, and then within each section, I go from light to dark. So I start with whites, and again, I'm not like I don't have a lot of color in my wardrobe, but I'll go white and then all the way to dark. And with the colors, I just follow the rainbow, like Roy G. Biv. But like I said, I have like 2 colors in my closet, so mostly blue. So
you have
yeah,
what you wear. You have what you wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
So,
good.
yeah.
That's really cool. That's good advice. I try to categorize by color. It was a disaster. I was like, it was so confusing. Like you need categories and color, I think, for it to make more sense.
Yes, I think so too. And color is easiest to organize by once you've got those sections. And especially if that's how you get dressed, right? Like I find it so much easier to mix and match when you're like, here's where I pull for my tops, here's where I pull, and then like for my layers or whatever. So it's easier.
Yeah. Pen is here. Pen's been
Hi, Pen. So fun.
Pen was at the Creator House, Alyssa, and she is like the best. She's you guys, if you don't follow Pen Smith Skincare, if you're interested in skincare, she is like the resource on YouTube. She's got a wealth of information. She's so amazing. So another fellow creator, that makes me happy that you're supporting. Thanks for supporting. Okay, you guys, we could keep going forever. We still have so many people on, holy smokes, and so many questions, but I feel like we need to do our giveaway, okay? So guys, I'm going to tell you something. There is a way to do a giveaway that I'm going to try that I've never done before, okay? So let's hope for the best. If it doesn't work, we'll figure something else out. Okay. So what I want you guys to do, if you want to win a styling session with Alyssa Beltempo, put #StyleMe into the chat. Spam it as fast as you can. And then we're going to do a draw, and hopefully this will work.
It will. It'll work. If not,
It's gonna work. Get it in there. Style me. It's a virtual style consultation.
Yes. For those of you, I guess if people are maybe just came on too late, it's an hour of virtual styling with me, and we can look at whatever you like. Whether you have questions about closet editing or restyling what you've got or anything like that.
Alyssa, can they try stuff on and you can give them opinions and advice on it?
100%. Yes. Yeah. And even like what I've done before with some of my clients is will like depending on how much of a keener you want to be, you can take photos before of outfits or items, and then we'll go through them together if you want to save time, because changing does take a bit of time during the session. So some people will just like have a folder of pictures ready and we'll go through and be like, oh yeah. So
that's brilliant. And I know, okay, you know what? While they're putting it in, I'm seeing tons. Yay!
Thanks, everyone.
While they're saying that, can you please also tell them about the webinars that you do? Because I think it's so brilliant. And I'm sure a lot of these people would love to join that.
Oh, thank you so much, Gabi. Yes, and I don't have tickets ready for the next one yet, but the next one will be at the end of May, and it's a 2-hour event, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot like this. Like our guests are great. I style 2 women live and in real time, and we shop their closet for inspiration looks. So like there's a big, Pinterest, like recreate these Pinterest outfits. It's kind of like that. We take inspiration that everyone receives at the beginning. So when you buy your ticket, with the ticket, you receive the inspiration looks that we've chosen for the session. And during the session, you'll see how I shop the closets of these 2 guests for those looks. So you see those looks kind of come to life, and you see in real time how we break apart the inspo into elements of style so that you can start shifting your mindset around clothes and how you see them. And then they come out and they change and they get dressed, and it's so much fun. And because everyone who buys a ticket receives the inspiration looks at the top of, like, when you buy your ticket, you get to participate, recreate the outfit in your own home, take a picture and submit it. And then at the end of the session, we show everybody's recreated looks. And it's just like, it's so cool because everyone has their own interpretation, and it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's very, very cool. So I can add, once I get tickets up, I can add that in our post live, because it would be so cool to have you all as well. Thank you, Gabi, for mentioning.
Yeah. As soon as that's up, you guys follow her on Instagram, Alyssa Beltempo. It's Miss Beltempo, at Miss Beltempo. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So follow her on Instagram, because she does it. She posts about it in her stories, and she sells her tickets there. I'm also going to put a link to it in the description box as soon as she has the link ready, and we'll put in the pinned comment as well. So if you guys come watch the replay, you can catch that. But I'm going to go to the next one. I'm going to be a part of the next session. It's so affordable. Like, I couldn't believe the ticket price is so affordable for what you're getting. Like, it's what an amazing thing you're doing. I think it's so cool.
Thanks, Gabi. Thank you. It means a lot. And yes, I'd love to have you. I think it'd be so cool if you were a guest, one of the people whose closets we shopped.
Oh, I'm in. You're going to see all my really obnoxious glam pieces that I buy when I'm under stress and that I never wear.
We should try and style them. We should try and come up with a look.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
I love that. Okay, cool.
All right, you guys, I think we are ready. Okay, let's draw. Let's see who's going to win. Oh, it's working.
It's working.
This is so awesome.
So fun. Sandra! Yay!
Congratulations.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and being here. This is so fun.
This was so fun. So Sandra, what we're going to do, I'm going to leave you know what? I'm going to write it down right now. I'm going to give you, okay, here we go. So production@glamgirlgabi.com. So make sure to send me an email, and then I'll connect you guys, and then you can go ahead and have your session and let me know how it goes, because that is really, really, really exciting.
Great. Thank you so much. This was so fun.
This was so fun. Thank you so much for your time and for spending the evening with us. You gave us like so much value. It was incredible.
Oh, I'm so no, this was such a pleasure and an honor for me too. And I can't wait until we chat next. And your community is fantastic. I'm so not surprised, because you attract what you are. So you're just so wonderful, Gabi.
Thank you so much. I feel the same about you. All right, you guys. I will see you next time. Thank you for joining.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too.